The fact that there is no real breakthrough on proposed peace talks may not come as a big surprise. Still, it is having an impact on the diplomatic efforts to resolve the violence in Syria. Lori Handrahan is a consultant to the United Nations. She joins me here in Washington. Lori, how would you gauge your hopes that we might actually bring all of these parties to the table? I mean, it seems like it kind of goes back and forth. What are your thoughts tonight?
I mean, I hate to even smile because it's such an incredibly depressing situation. I don't think there's any chance of having a peace talk. You can't have a peace talk when there's a genocidal slaughter going on. You can't be a part-time dictator. Assad is now known as one of the world's worst war criminals. I think the only way Assad should be invited to peace talks in Geneva is if there's a warrant out for his arrest with the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity.
But John Kerry made a good point today. This is not going to be decided on the battlefield. It's going to be decided at the negotiating table. What are the steps to get the parties to the table?
Well, how do you negotiate with a president of a country who has just used vacuum bombs? Human Rights Watch reported today that for the first time they've seen vacuum bombs used on the population. So while everybody's...
So for those who aren't familiar with
Sure.
vacuum bombs.
So everyone's been concerned about the chemical weapons. Meanwhile, they dropped the heaviest artillery and weapons, conventional weapons that they have now on their population. Vacuum bombs is a huge bomb that is dropped on the population with a vapor that goes over a wide distribution area that sucks the oxygen out of the surrounding area. So you die because your lungs burst. Right? So today, Human Rights reported 14 children died in these vacuum bombings. It's a horrific way to die. How do you negotiate with somebody who's doing that to his own people, who's saying he's going to run for re-election? Half the population is on the move, right? It's 6 million people displaced right now. Because of Assad, 6 million. And
yet we hear so many cases like the one you just described. There's a new story out, a volunteer surgeon just back to the UK. I'm sure you've heard about this. He said that there's a game being played by snipers in Syria where they are targeting pregnant women,
Yes.
aiming at their stomachs
Yes.
For packs of cigarettes.
Yes.
When you hear stories like that, and then you also hear stories, and we've seen these visuals of a rebel leader sawing out the heart of someone and eating it. You see these signs, these inhumane signs on both sides, and you know from watching other disputes like Bosnia, for example,
Right.
the more this goes on, the harder it is to bring people together, isn't
Right.
it? I mean,
well, but so this is what's very frustrating if you're a foreign policy watcher. Whenever a conflict like this happens, we all say you can't negotiate with a dictator. You just can't do it. So you brought up Bosnia. How many times did we try to negotiate with Milosevic? Milosevic didn't want peace. Milosevic wanted to kill a population. Assad doesn't want peace. Assad wants to kill his population. So you're not having real negotiations. It's just political hyperbole, basically. You can't have peace with somebody who doesn't want to have peace. Negotiations only work if both sides are willing to give and take. Assad could come to the table as an honest broker if he stopped killing his civilian population, and he refuses to stop doing that.
so is there a mechanism out there that can move this in one direction
Well,
or
sure.
another? Are there countries that can actually intervene and help?
Well, there's the so-called Friends of Syria, but with friends like that, who needs enemies? I mean, really, Friends of Syria should have implemented a no-fly zone a long time ago. It's the largest humanitarian disaster since the end of World War II. Since the end of World War II, we have never seen a humanitarian disaster this large. The humanitarians can't even get access to help the people because they're continuing to bomb the population. You need a no-fly zone. You do need a military strategy. Failing that, you need the International Criminal Court to be given a free license to issue an arrest warrant for Assad. Really, that's the only way to end this war.
Lori, we're going to have to leave it there.
Sure.
I'm
Thanks,
sure it's
Mike.
not the last time we're going to talk to you about this.
Sadly,
this is not an issue that's
no.
going away. Thanks so much.
Thank you.